AstroDetectives listeners, we've got a special episode for you today. We're having fun exploring conferences.
Yeah.
The one in particular that Sarah went to recently.
Yeah, specifically NORWAC, because that's the only one I've been to.
But in general, I think we're going to get into, just what to expect when you go to, a conference for astrology or maybe any sort of interest that you have. But we've got a fun one today where we're going to talk about not just you going to that conference, but we have a couple friends that you've made at the conference, because part of that experience, it's not just what you learn, it's who you meet along the way.
Yeah, maybe the best part is just like making connections. I feel like that, is just worth its, money that you pay, the admission price. But yeah, so I did make so many connections and even saw some people that we had on the show previously. So that was really fun to meet them in person. But today we have with us two of those astrologers who've actually been featured on the podcast before. So we have with us Lindsey DePeri-Franz and Logan Richman. Welcome back to AstroDetectives.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, you guys are both evolutionary astrologers, I think. Is that right?
Yes, I am a modern evolutionary astrologer. So more focused on psychological astrology.
And I am an evolutionary astrologer, but I often think of myself first as an intuitive sort, a psychic medium type.
Fantastic. I love that. And even though I'm not necessarily an evolutionary astrologer, I love it, and I've incorporated parts of it into my astrology. I want to be, I guess, maybe holistic. I want to learn. I've learned a lot of traditional, and now I really am fascinated by evolutionary. So I think it's really cool what you guys do.
Those of us over here that don't know exactly what that means, can you give us an idea of what evolutionary astrology is?
Yeah, sure. Scott, that's a great question. So evolutionary astrology is, actually there are two lineages of evolutionary astrology, but the overall concept is that it is incorporating an understanding of past life influences. So it looks at your chart from the perspective of what past life karma is ripening in this lifetime. And that past life karma can show up as challenges that you face that sort of present themselves as themes throughout your life, or relationship dynamics that keep showing up, or frustrations that you seem to continue to be working with. And it uses the approach of helping you understand that journey, that element of your soul journey or hero's journey or healing journey, so that you can take a more empowered role and understand actually what your soul wish is in this lifetime, what your soul's aspirations are for growth, healing, and fulfillment. So it takes it really resonates for me because it takes a very empowered approach. Mm-hmm. And when I was learning and studying astrology, I was also studying and learning going deep into my studies of yoga. And I felt like they were really two sides of the same coin, this idea of, self-empowerment or self-awareness as a superpower, and understanding how to navigate your unique constitution in order to kind of fulfill your unique soul path.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I feel like traditional astrology is a lot more practical and objective, or I don't know, it has a lot less of the past life or spirituality interwoven into it. Mm-hmm. It's a lot more technical, and it's so funny because at the conference there was really two camps there was the traditional and there was the evolutionary, and it was great having both them there, but you could definitely see the difference in the styles, which was really funny, and different types of people gravitating towards those.
But Sarah, you crossed the lines and you said, I'm going to go talk to these evolutionary astrologers.
Yes, I like to have
great.
One foot in both. Yeah, for sure.
I was going, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, have you guys, go ahead, Logan, sorry.
Sorry. No, I appreciate that, having one foot in both camps, because coming as an evolutionary astrologer and then seeing how so many people are in traditional, I'm like, okay, there's got to be something here that I should learn and see, why is this striking up so much passion and why hasn't it come across my plate yet?
Yeah, it's a great to layer them, I think. Like traditional, I think can be very effective when you're doing medical astrology, but like I also really feel like there's so much richness in the evolutionary to help people with self-growth and counseling and all of that stuff too.
I always say going to a conference, going to an astrology conference like NORWAC or ESAR is like going to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And you have these different houses or these different camps and these different lineages. And it's everybody's very, you also just meet these like incredibly inspiring people, and everybody's very like immersed or just like letting their magical self be seen. And but yeah, you do kind of have those they're in this other camp, I'm curious about them. And but it's where we all come together.
Oh, that's so funny. I was calling it Hogwarts because I stayed with a friend, and I was hanging out with him and some of my civilian friends, and I would just tell them, well, I had a good day at Hogwarts today.
Yeah.
Were there any civilians in the conference?
The hotel workers. Yeah. They were probably like, who, these crazy NORWAC people?
Yeah. It's interesting because the conference this was the 40th year of the conference. So I can just imagine like how it's evolved over the years. But some of us have like muggle lives, like side jobs or whatever.
Yeah. So for me, this was my first time going to NORWAC or any astrology conference. So it just kind of blew my mind. How about you guys? Have you guys been before, or how many conferences have you been to?
This was my second time at NORWAC. I had registered for 2 years ago, and then I got COVID the day before I needed to board my plane. Oh. So I had to stay home. So this would have been my third, but it was second time.
Oh, man. Gosh. Yeah. And they're pretty like rigorous, I guess, about that. And they have you test on site the moment you get there to make sure. I mean, I think that's good. Yeah. And how about you, Lindsey? How had you been before?
It was my second NORWAC and my third conference. I went to ESAR in Denver in 2022, and then I went to NORWAC in 2023 for the first time, and then again this year.
Oh, and how are they different?
ESAR is larger. It was a larger conference. One of the things that really was a challenge was, so at NORWAC, when you have, this time and this time slot and conference and the lectures are about to begin, there's usually 4 or 5 lectures to choose from. And that's really difficult. At ESAR, there were usually 9 lectures around there to choose from. And they were all, amazing, like mind blowing. So it was really hard to choose. It's great. You get to, if you're a nerd like me, you get to meet your heroes. And that was my first encounter meeting Stephen Forrest live. And it was very moving. And the conferences are all really great because they give you access to, at least for a limited time, the digital playback. So, you can go loop back and listen to or even watch the video of a lecture that you missed.
Dude, I felt like I was cramming for the SATs. I was trying, as soon as I got home, I was trying to binge, even the ones I'd already seen so I could take better notes. And up until like midnight, I was like on the last day, I was trying to get through all these videos.
The first time I went last year, to NORWAC, because they only give you 2 weeks to watch the playbacks, I think I went to 15 lectures during the conference, and then I went home and watched 15 lectures.
Wow.
When I got home, I was doing the same thing. Like I was watching some of them on like double speed. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, so smart.
I was like, I'm getting it in. I'm just getting it in. But you know what? I learned a lot. I learned so much.
Gosh, I actually can't imagine watching it on double speed because I am a rigorous note taker. I feel like it's the only way I can like learn. So it's actually better for me to watch it on video than in person because I pause it like every 10 seconds. And so it ends up taking me like 4 hours to get through like an hour lecture. Yeah. Because I really like make so like my notes are like crazy, but I need them and I refer back to them a lot. So that's just my crazy OCD method.
Nice. Yeah. Well, it's great to have that option.
We want to put all these notes to good use in this episode so that listeners can get a little sampling of, some of these great workshops and lectures that you heard. And if, whatever stood out to you that you would want to share with the audience and pass along. They say you remember something more when you teach it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
This is really going to imprint it for you.
Yes, that's true. So, like my favorite thing that I saw, there's so many. I saw so many great lectures, but I was definitely so impacted by Judith Hill, who is a medical astrologer and has an academy for medical astrology. I don't know if that's the exact name, but anyway, I had taken maybe one of her lectures online